You see, I cut my own bangs today, so it's a little bit shorter than normal, and I also have a new haircut, which you haven't seen. I think my message of this video actually is going to be very simple. I so often criticize myself for not being skilled enough, not knowing all the technicalities enough of something. I try to remind myself that in order to create good art, you have to live life first. I don't remember who told this to me or where I read it or I saw this somewhere. Not to use it as an excuse, but in order to create good art, you have to live your life and you have to feel things. You have to allow to feel things. I know there are some art machines that create things and stay in their studio all the time because they feel so intensely. I don't know. But in the way I operate in life, I think it is important for me to live life, to experience things, to have relationships of all sorts and kinds, to challenge myself and see how I react to different situations and what touches me, what moves me, and only then to create art. There are these two aspects of creating art, in my opinion. First is like the conceptual, the emotional part of it, and second is the skill part of it. Like how well can you translate what you felt through the medium that you use. And one of the things that inspired me recently is Mary Oliver. Love her, still keep reading her a lot, and I listened to a podcast with her, and she said this wonderful thing, that in order to make that soft part of yourself that wants to create, that creative part of yourself, in order to make it comfortable, you have to show up for it every day, and you have to make it trust you. You have to make it believe that you are committed to it and that you are going to treat it with kindness and sensitivity, and you will realize whatever it wants to realize. And this is kind of an opposite point of which I'm making, and I think she writes more deeply about it in Poetry Handbook, which I really want to read. But I thought this explanation was very interesting, and yet I think it takes time and a lot of work to trust yourself enough and perceive your artistry and creative part as important enough to dedicate time to it and to see potential in it and value it and do it despite everything that happens in your life and all the circumstances, all the material things that might stop you. I kind of went on a tangent, but the point is, you have to live life in order to create art. B, you do have to commit to the practice of it. You do have to commit, but I want to be gentle with myself, and I want to tell myself that it's okay that I didn't commit to it as regularly as I wanted to in the past however many years. The process is slow, and you have to trust it. This is what we come to at the end of each video on this channel. Wow, this is so beautiful though. My point being that in order to create art, you have to live life. And as I told in videos before, I have this approach to life of a perfect A student, and very often I feel guilty for hanging out too much or resting too much or doing things that are not productive or even good for you. But I believe all of these feelings, all of the things that these experiences ignite are all material for my art, future art, even if it's later in life, even if it will take time to realize those ideas. But I've been more and more accustomed to the idea of showing up and meeting this creative part of myself where it is at, meeting it and showing it love and attention. And I still don't commit to it daily, for sure. One of the ways, again, is the morning pages. Another way is just walks. walks and being in nature alone, it's very hard and scary, and I feel like a psycho sometimes going, and the resistance is so huge. Sometimes I don't even get out of the house, but it is so important to just go on a walk and be fully present, be fully present and see things around you and notice. And I truly believe that inspiration can be found anywhere. And another thing that I wanted to talk to you about is one advice that I might give on finding your inspiration or finding your what moves you. So almost a year ago, not almost, like exactly a year ago, it was my anniversary of this thing yesterday. I created a Telegram channel. Basically, a Telegram channel, if you are not familiar, is like where you post things and people can comment on your post or put emojis, but it's sort of a one-way street. And initially it was named What Inspires Masha, and then I renamed it to What Moves Masha. And I am so proud of myself for sticking to it and writing about 250 points in this year of what moves me. And these are things that vary from this puddle on the street, this leaf, to the state of the world, to I don't know, like this emotion that I felt. Like they're very varied, and they come from all walks of life, from just art, other pieces of art, nature, a lot of nature, but most of the things are just mundane and simple. And I realize that this is what inspires me the most mundane and simple things that touch me in some way. Especially since being home, I have been feeling a lot of warmth and peace, seeing and experiencing things around me that remind me of childhood, that remind me of comfort of home. And I even looking at these mountains and this moon. Wow, you cannot see the moon. And there's a mosque singing right now for the evening prayer, and all of this just makes me feel so at peace, and like I have a place where I belong. And all of these things, each of this park I have been to maybe hundreds of times. And I remember coming here when I was 10 years old, or like 11 years old, for the first time when it just opened 15 years ago. And me and my friends, one of my friends had a camera, and I didn't have a camera back then. And I took her camera and I took pictures, and that was one of the moments of that inspiration. We shot some videos, and that was maybe the first video I've ever made. And I don't have it saved. I don't have any of it. It was on the computer, we didn't save it, whatever. But even now, talking about it and being reminded of the fact that I had an urge and desire to create since such a young time, and somehow camera was always the mediator, or very often the mediator. And having so many of these reminders here at home is so comforting, and I cannot even describe properly the words that I feel. But coming back to the point of the Telegram channel, I think it was extremely helpful for me to realize what things actually move me and what things actually inspire me by committing to it. And Telegram channel is only open to a small group of friends, and I feel very comfortable, and I don't have to censor myself in any way, because on Instagram or TikTok I still censor myself. And I also realized that I can commit to things, and that if it's safe, if it's something that I enjoy, I can commit to things that I decide to do by myself, because I often have trouble with that. And I even like the fact that I learned that I can commit to creating my own things through that Telegram channel inspired me to create a YouTube channel, and I am so grateful I did it. I hope I can commit to it. I completely lost train thought. I hope. Yes. So to sum up, it's all in my thesis. It's all the name, as always. Like, it could have been an email, but it's so much more important for it to be a talk, because I hope you will internalize it somehow. But I think my takeaway personally for me is that you have to live life to create good art, and it's important to feel. And whatever happens to you will be valuable, and whatever people you meet will be valuable, just for your own processing and your own growth as an artist. But it is important to show up for it and to create space for your art to flourish, for you to learn how to communicate what you feel better. And I think I'm finally at the stage, which I've been telling for like 3 months now, that I'm ready to commit to it, at least to some degree. And I know it's not going to be fast. And I also know that many ways in which artists are successful in Kazakhstan or in my surrounding does not fit me, and I'm looking for some other things. And maybe this YouTube channel will be my greatest art expression, but I hope I will be able to expand even further from it. And recently I've been getting a lot of ideas for visual art pieces, and I really hope to film making one. Actually, I will film making one. I think I will not tell you things that inspired me, because I'll just say that moving back home inspired me. Seeing fall in my hometown Almaty for the first time in 6 years have inspired me. Why is this making me cry? And feeling rested again. Well, I'm so happy I talked to this camera today, and I just forgot how much I enjoyed and how much weight it takes off my shoulders. Yeah, I'm happy to be back. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you keep watching this, and I hope you create, and I hope you will not be hard on yourself, because if being hard on yourself would have worked, it would have worked by now. For me, it doesn't, and I encourage you to be soft, even if it takes time, even if no one around you is doing it, because it bears fruit. It bears fruit. Sensitivity is your greatest gift. Wow, I'm just being a motivational speaker at this point, and yes, I love you all, and thank you so much for being here and supporting me, and I'm so grateful that I found this medium of expression, and that I am free now. Yeah. Wow, you saw me cry. I still haven't come up with a line to leave. Stay true. I read that book. Oh, I need to talk about that book. Okay, next time.